want you to use them. Is this enough paper? You want fibers
I
done
think
now?
that's, yeah.
I'll keep tearing. You want to do fibers? Or you want to do paper?
We need an 8 by 10 sheet, equivalent to an 8 by 10 sheet of paper, torn up, plus these fibers, and we might have glitter, I don't know.
Will that make enough for each one to have a...
Yeah, I think.
It needs to be thicker.
Do I have enough paper? Do I have enough paper?
Pardon?
Do I have enough paper?
Well, no, you have to, is this all the paper that I gave you?
Yeah, and then...
Well, I would keep tearing up the paper.
Do we put it in the pile?
See what we've got. All
We
right,
got...
a chowder-like consistency, but we need more
Can
paper.
we taste it?
No.
There you go.
Because yesterday night,
chowder-like
since we didn't have any dinner, I had paper instead.
You mean you
was
wouldn't
quite
want to
filling.
eat this? You don't want to eat this?
It was quite filling.
No, the Chinese did not have a blender. What was the
No.
equivalent? What was the equivalent?
They would just shred everything all up and make a pulp
It
out of
looks
it.
appetizing.
Oh, that's a
have
pulp.
some-
That's the pulp.
That's a pulp.
Yes.
Okay.
I have to let that sit a minute
Has to
or
sit for a
two.
couple of days?
Well,
If
without
you
a
don't
blender.
have a blender.
Oh, if you don't have a blender. Oh.
And then they probably used a mortar type thing like what?
Okay.
Oh, they'll sit here. You need to
This is making paper.
Now what we're supposed to do is pour the pulp out onto the screen.
Oh, no, that's disgusting. You said you wanted to eat it.
And you take
But
the
on a
All
screen?
right, listen guys.
I'm not going to eat it on a screen.
Excuse me? You're going to take the back of the spoon and spread it on your screen. Now, those of you, just make a pile to the side of, because we're going to be using it. Just make one pile of it. Alright, now what we'll do is I'll pour this.
You didn't use any glitter?
Okay, that looks like good pulp. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is pour it over the spoon. And you need to take a spoon, the back of the spoon, and spread it out on the screen.
Oh, it looks like...
Spread
I'm
it
not
out.
hungry anymore.
Take the back of the spoon.
And I know what that looks like. Oh. Where's my spoon?
Alright, you want to keep it inside
It's like
the
the stuff
frame.
that comes out of the attic.
Keep it inside the frame, guys. Keep it inside the frame.
Cool. When I sneeze, it looks like advanced species too.
Yeah, push it and keep it inside the frame.
What's up, Josh?
Alright, take the back of the spoon.
How about
You want to get it out to the corners, but not over the silver part. Let's pick out a couple of things, and you embed it. Embed it in the... I'm just going to pick it out for him.
What's this, a watermark?
No, this is just putting flowers, dried stuff in there.
paper? This is when it dries, is it gonna be paper? You mixed my
I think I can use a
paper.
little less water. Here, see, I don't have those. You put them in where you want them. Yes, you put them in. Now see, you're supposed to have it.
How about a little blue one?
Have a puddle.
Right on the edge of the paper, right?
Yep, that's what you're supposed to have.
Well, we're gonna find out. Oh, let's have some.
There you go.
That's pulp. That's what we call pulp. And you want to try to get it.
time together for this food that we're going to eat. And we ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Now it's coming. How do we do this?
I think I saw sugar.
If I just take the cookie and pass it.
You take the cookie and then this.
Okay. I'm just going to go around and take one and bite. Look at them, aren't they beautiful?
Sugar.
Okay, you take a sugar.
Napkin.
Oh, we need napkins. Okay.
I'll just hold it. I want it.
You don't want any cookies? We're coming. Well, it takes us a minute to decide. Don't only
you
touch
go.
one. Once you
Have
touch
a napkin.
you have
You're
to
welcome. What happened to your arm? Huh?
Oh,
And broke it?
look at this.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to bring between you two. Yeah. Okay, which one? Pick one.
Can you have a bite of it?
One of these. I knew it.
You gotta pray first, I think, right?
We did. We
Oh, you
did.
did? Then
Yeah.
I guess you can have a little bite.
Okay, you don't want any? No, there's nothing there that you like? Got 'em? Would you like one?
Thank you.
Or two or three? That's
I
the
got
kind
close
I
up.
like.
I got close up to their faces so they took the.
Oh, what?
Because they took the cookie.
Mom, where's Hannah?
What, honey?
Where's Hannah?
She's in the other room. We had set up 2 each for, they don't listen to me.
I don't want it.
You don't want any? Do you want zucchini bread?
Next time I'm going to add 2 cups of water. I'm not going to add so much water this time.
Why not eat water?
How do you do? But I think we can.
Oh, it smells like.
It feels just like wet paper.
Okay, ready? Right now, push it out. I'm going to use 2 cups. Alright, what you want to do is flip. In half. You said it would come out.
Put the paper in. You gotta get a big one. I know. Put it in. You're missing. I don't care.
No more.
I got a lot of paper shredded, and you have it, but that's okay.
Alright, you want to try a little
rub
more?
it in. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, you can try a little. Nope, I'll pour it in.
Oh. How come he gets glitter?
Alright, well, we'll make some more. We don't worry about it, guys.
Glitter on your
Have again. Sure you can. Okay.
Where
Where does the cap go?
Just put glitter in?
Yep.
Tyler? Yes.
Alright, you're supposed to use the hair dryer on that for quite a while.
What are you supposed to be making, I asked?
Paper. And then you put stuff in it. And then you put... Is. Yeah, we do.
That shows that we're supposed to be taking care of the stuff that God's given us, huh? Not wasting it.
Yep, pat it
It
down.
has to be a lesson in
press
everything.
the
You have
water,
to
the
learn
moisture
something
out.
all the time. Nothing can be just
I
fun.
invented
You
paper.
always have to learn something.
Great. Alright, well, let's do it now.
Well, they get to sit down.
Yeah, you'll sit down for a snack.
Let me share.
boys stand up and have prayer before. All right, come on, boys. Stand up.
I already did it because we're going to go around the rose. Look at this. As soon as they have their...
Okay, everybody close your eyes, bow your head. Boys, no, put that down. That's not folding hands. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this morning, this time to learn about your creation. Thank you for the means and the care all that we have as things that we have, and also for the nourishment of our bodies and us to thy service. In Jesus' name.
I'm alright.
Okay, snacks are over here.
Let's go.
That's the idea, baby.
This table over here.
One thing they learned was that you have to say a prayer before snack time. This is Vacation Bible School at the Reformed Church in Kinderhook, Columbia County, New York. And I just talked to Carol Shaw, and she said how different it was. In the 1980s and the 1970s, there were 130 children here. The reason is they thought is the schools. They had so many summer programs, like soccer camp.
Oh, yeah.
She said, but 130, that was really stretching it.
Yeah, it's going to
They used every facility they had here. There is the director of the Vacation Bible School, Patty Varga. Let me get a close-up of her.
My question is, when our children come over for first and second grade, what are we doing?
Patty, how's the school going?
Just ducking.
And how many registrants?
21.
21.
So hopefully we'll have more tomorrow.
Oh, you think new ones could come in tomorrow?
Yeah, we can have different people every day.
Well, I think 21 is a good deed.
21 is good.
Was my mom always going to help out? Yeah, Billy. Oh, he wants us to knock it down. Just keep pushing. Come on, Billy. We don't know each other. Okay,
Kyle's got his. I see he's able to remove the top, which is a good thing to... What do you want, honey, to color yours with? One of these? Pardon? Skinny. Okay, here we go. You're so quiet, Devin. There. Has everybody got what they want?
yeah.
Right.
I need a black one.
Our hair.
Nathan.
Well, thank you very much.
Nathan, this is a wonderful thing you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Teaching children and bringing them closer to God.
Well, it's not really me so much that's doing it, but thank you very much.
But it is a wonderful thing.
It is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we got good footage of it.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And you've got some good footage of me?
So now, do you want coffee or Capri Sun?
Oh, a Capri Sun would be nice.
Okay, I'll go get one. You want Capri Sun? You want a,
No, thank you.
would you like Capri Sun?
No, I'm fine.
Sir Isaac Newton, this most elegant system of suns and planets could only arise from the purpose and sovereignty of an intelligent and mighty being. He rules them all as the sovereign lord of all things.
Albert Einstein. The harmony of natural law reveals an intelligence of such superiority that compared with it, all the systematic thinking of human beings is utterly insignificant.
Werner von Braun. One cannot be exposed to the law and order of the universe without concluding that there must be design and purpose behind it all. Through a closer look at creation, we ought to gain a better knowledge of the Creator.
Their words ring out across the boundaries of time and space.
You see that movie? It featured Sir Isaac Newton and Einstein and Werner von Braun. Franklin interviewed Werner von Braun. Isn't that wonderful?
I don't know what would I do without you?
Beautiful kids and they hold our family together.
Okay, look it. Do you see it?
Now you want to make that another knot then?
Okay, now he's going to hang from here.
What I found is the easiest if you tie these two pieces together on the hanger.
Oh, there we are. Wonderful job. I sit down? I'm afraid you'll fall. Okay. So we caught on the chair. Okay, now I'm going to tie you. You hold this. You hold it in the middle. You're not using this tape. Okay, leave it here, and we're going to pick it up when we come back down, because we got blood color in our folder, okay? Anybody who's finished with their mobile can put it right on here. And I guess maybe...
They made a mobile. That's a gasoline. I took cookies and a soft drink to the minister. Minister never gets anything to eat. Minister never gets any coffee, never gets any cookies. So I always make sure that they get them. Isn't that great about Franklin interviewed Werner von Braun? When Werner von Braun came over from the Nazi occupation. This is the minister's wife. And she doesn't let the little baby and the care thereof stop her from making her contribution. And they don't charge tuition. There's no tuition. This is all gift.
You know where to go, okay? All right, let's go. Come on, girls. Your friend is coming up when he gets
Did I tell you about the nursery school teacher was taking the children for a walk, and she says, well, at least, children, there's something we can all be thankful for. We are all free. And the little boy says, I am not free. I am poor. This is the mobile that the children made. Isn't that great?
Did a good job with those.
Yeah.
Cute. I love some people at 12.
And they just go, and they're done.
Think about the fact that we'd get stuff on the table.
Oh.
Stuff underneath.
It should come off. What is it?
Yeah, I think it's crayon.
Crayon won't come off? Oh, we gotta try some fantastic or something. Yeah, I got markers somehow on my finger. I don't know how. And then I was rubbing it on. I'm like, so I had it all over the place.
Why is there a hole in the ladybug?
There?
Yeah.
It's not a hole.
Oh,
She just
okay.
colored it so dark. They're all black, and that's the only one she colored black.
I thought I heard somebody come over and say they would put a hole in the ladybug.
Oh, right here. I put a hole
Oh,
in
that
there.
kind of hole for
Yeah.
that, yeah. My name is what? My name is what?
Fernando Flamingo.
I love your shoes, Fernando. Yeah. Van Allen says the 1993 Lincoln's really sick. Said coolant got into something. And then something else. And something else. And the cheapest that can be is $300. I asked them if they could accept time payments. No, they can't. I guess they've had some pretty bad experiences. Listen, whatever comes along, we can take care of it, right? Because we're one with God, aren't we, folks? That's going to be my new curtains, the blue. So folks, what is this big pile? This is 20 videotapes got mailed to today. This is a headless TV hosts, but you've been watching those for years. I went to Vacation Bible School today. I showed you the footage on that. And I think those women are wonderful. The way they just, volunteer and give of their time and money to try to teach children about God. And I just think they deserve so much credit. So these are 20 videotapes that mailed today. That would be Jane Dean. And here's 10 more to go. And I think there's 20 more to wrap. So, the 1993 Lincoln is badly injured. There's something about antifreeze into something. Some kind of a gasket, and wondering about a head gasket. And it's going to cost $300, and they won't give you time to pay it. So, I don't know why there's so much money left over at the end of the money. So I could find $200 cash. But the other 100, I asked them that I give them a check for them. And when the Social Security came in on August 3rd at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's when it comes in to the bank account, that if they would hold that check. And they said, okay, yeah, they can wait. So on Wednesday morning, the 1993 Lincoln, the perfect car. Been a perfect car for years. And now, like me, he's showing his age. And so they said, okay. And so he's going to have his operation. He's going to have his surgery on Wednesday morning. Okay, so what is this great big bundle that went out? Well, Nasty Natalia, and Brat's sister Lydia, and Mother Maria, and Father and Brother Carlos, and Preferred Country Properties, a real estate company in Chatham, at 19 so-called Central Square, but it's a circle. Her liar for hire is James Kleinbaum, and he wrote this letter. I'll show it to you. And he says, it is my understanding that you have been broadcasting derogatory comments about myself, Preferred Country Properties, and its principals. Well, please cease and desist from making any further defamatory statements. If you do not, it will be the subject for a lawsuit of slander and defamation. Only that's spelled deformation. Please also cease and desist from making any contact whatsoever with Preferred Country Properties and its principals. If you do not, you will be subject to harassment or trespassing charges.
Okay, so what is this great big bundle that went out? Well, Natalia, Nasty Natalia, and Brat Sister Lydia, and Mother Maria, and Father and Brother Carlos, and Preferred Country Properties, a real estate company in Chatham, at 19 so-called Central Square, but it's a circle. Her liar for hire is James Kleinbaum, and he wrote this letter. I'll show it to you. And he says, "It is my understanding that you have been broadcasting derogatory comments about myself, Preferred Country Properties, and its principals. Well, please cease and desist from making any further defamatory statements. If you do not, it will be the subject for a lawsuit of slander and defamation." Only that's spelled deformation. "Please also cease and desist from making any contact whatsoever with Preferred Country Properties and its principals. If you do not, you will be subject to harassment or trespassing charges." And down here, Glendora says, well, Natalia now owes Glendora 371 hours times $300 per hour equals $111,300 and $1,401.27 in print, post, and travel. Okay, what are you going to do with this, folks? Well, you're going to attack it. And he didn't give a heading or any kind of a court indication, so I said this is circa Bastille Day, 2004. The Village Court, Village of Chatham, County of Columbia, State of New York, United States of America, Preferred Country Properties versus Glendora, 0403021. Glendora memorandum to James Kleinbaum, lawyer for Natalia et al. And she quotes the first part of the letter, okay, and now we'll tack this phrase by phrase, all right? I reproduce it there on the first front page, on the caption page. Says Glendora, "There is no hyphen in my name. Where did you get that idea? Had you read my papers, duplicated to you, and I paid for my own duplication." If you remember, James Kleinbaum would go over to the copying machine that belonged to the Village of Chatham and just help himself to copies, make as many copies as he wanted. Dixon's sitting right there letting him do it. Anyway, I paid for my duplication without robbing the taxpayers of Chatham Village. And had you watched Glendora reading of these papers on TV, you would know there is no hyphen between Glendora's unmarried name and married name. In fact, you would be better off using just Glendora. It is my understanding that, you say. Well, Glendora has to know, how is it your understanding? Did you see and hear yourself? Did somebody tell you about it? Do you have personal knowledge of it? Do you have proof? Do you have witnesses? Now, broadcasting Glendora does not do at this time. Cable casting is what you mean. Broadcasting is over the airwaves. The cable TV signal goes through a coaxial cable. And this is what a coaxial cable looks like. It's a cable with another cable inside of it. Great invention. Now, is that what you mean? And Glendora asks, as to what time frame? You do not specify month, week, year, or hour. Quote, derogatory comments, unquote, means what? What are the comments you refer to that are derogatory? Please state them. In particular, state them as to yourself, James Kleinbaum. IBID, as to Preferred Country Properties, and who are its principals? I did not know they had any principals. Please state the comments you have in mind. Now go on to his sentence that he says, please cease and desist from making any further defamatory statements. Well, what is your statutory authority? Please state what statements you have heard, seen, that are damaging, are defamatory, and list them. Now, to his praise, or you will be subject for a lawsuit of slander and deformation. Well, what is your statutory authority, Glendora wants to know. Please state any slander you personally have intercepted. The same applies to any deformation. And by the way, what is deformation? Now, there is no hyphen in my last name. Where, sorry, I read that to you. Please also cease and desist from making any contact, whatever, with preferred country properties and its principals. Well, what is your statutory authority for that? What law is broken here? Who are the principals? Who are the principals? And first time I spelled principal the way they did, it was just misspelled, P-R-I-N-C-I-P-L-E. And that's a principle, well, one meaning of principle, P-R-I-N-C-I-P-L-E, is a standard to which one adheres. Now, principally P-R-I-N-C-I-P-A-L, he might mean. That would be the officer, so-called preferred country properties. It's really just a family business. It would be Ma, Pa, Lydia, and Natalia. Now, may your law be more accurate than your typing. If you do not, says Kleinbaum, you will be subject to harassment or trespassing charges. Glendora says, what is your statutory authority? CPLR, criminal penal law, or whatever it is, defines harassment as continuing conduct or contact with no legitimate purpose. Well, Glendora has a legitimate purpose. Natalia and all the principals and preferred country properties stole $435 from Glendora plus 9% statutory interest for 1 year, 1 month. That's the security deposit. She has never returned it, and it's over a year. Over a year. 13 months. Add to that conversion. Natalia et al. Commingled the $435 and spent it as their own instead of putting it in escrow. Now, this is theft. Thou shalt not steal. One of the big ones. Now, courts have strict rules about serving all parties, and all of Glendora's defendants must be served. This is legitimate purpose. So now you are breaking the law. You are threatening Glendora for free speech, and you're threatening America. Very truly yours, James Kleinbaum, and you want to see something that he calls a signature? Here it is. That's a signature. And what kind of a mind does that show? Frenetic? Yes. J-E-K typed by D-M-A or D-M-S, debt formation. C.C. preferred country properties. While Glendora says, alas, poor York, let me begin by accentuating that what I have said on TV is public knowledge. Isn't it? Anybody can go to the Chatham Village Court or to the county court, Columbia County, state of New York, and read the record. Or they can go to the Chicago court United States District Court, where I sued them all. And read the record. It's a public record. Glendora is simply reading a public record. Next big point is that, and I quote him as saying, please also cease and desist from making any contact whatsoever with preferred properties and its principals. And there again, principals is spelled P-R-I-N-C-I-P-L-E-S. How much did Natalia pay for this slot? You guess. Can you guess? Now Glendora says, what is your statutory authority? And what law is broken here? And who are the principals? There is no libel or slander here. That's the next big point. There is no libel. There is no libel as written, slander as spoken. There is no slander here. Glendora has not uttered any lies. In the middle of libel is the word lie. Glendora has not uttered any lies. She has kept meticulous logs. She has extensive footage, both audio and video. Succinctly, she has the proof. She does not allege, she adduces. You are accelerating an issue here of free press. That's exactly what it is, okay? Also, First Amendment is the public's right to know, your right to know. I have a right to tell you, and you have a right to know. That's your First Amendment right. So that's free press. That's the old Peter Zenger trial that occurred rather in the, what was it, 1700s, or maybe, I guess it was 1700s, in Mount Vernon, Westchester County, state of New York, colonies. Also, First Amendment is the public's right to know. Glendora has a duty to inform the public, has a right to know the machinations of landlords, attorneys, and judges that cause people to be homeless. And this is no joke. The people out on the street homeless are put there by nasty landlords, greedy attorneys, and collusive judges who are getting a piece of the action. That is no joke. People homeless? More than one Chatham Village native has bemoaned the rape of rights by George C. Dixon. This goes to the heart of America. It abdicates Americanism, loyalty to and attachment to America, its ideals, its traditions, and its views. Its interests. Now this has to be exposed, and the public must know. I'm looking out for you folks. Now, you made your record. Glendora did not. Are you ashamed of it? The advice of decades ago was, don't do anything that you don't want on the first page, the front page of the New York Times. It's like one of the 10 Commandments. Is the mirror being held up to you? Did you not like what you see? As did not Dorian Gray? Remember that story by Oscar Wilde? Short story? Excellent. Your conduct from the beginning was embarrassing. Not paying to repair your own furnace. Taking 9 days to repair a kitchen sink faucet. Not paying $26 to repair your own kitchen sink drain. Not going over the terms of the lease. Not signing the lease when Glendora signed it. Not providing a copy of the lease to Glendora at the time of signing. Nor ever after. And lying under oath ad infinitum. Now this is a matter of fact. There's no lie there. The causes of action you brought before George Dixon April the 13th were never listed in the complaint. You did not give Glendora time to answer with a written complaint. Everything you did before George Dixon April 13th was a nullity. Glendora did not like the encounter with you, but it was a call, a clean-up call for America. No, I do not like it, and take the cup from me. But no, I have to go. Where does the Natalia Conclave get the money to initiate a frivolous defamation suit? To initiate one and to sustain it. You realize what that's going to cost? And will you be representing yourself pro se? Or will this cost you a huge sum to hire a lawyer? You, a lawyer, hire a lawyer. Remember, you can't collect any money from Glendora because she hasn't any. Now here's Glendora's service list, okay? Kleinbaum. Nichols, County Judge. Saricia, Administrative Judge for the 3rd Judicial District. Is it? Or is it the 3rd Department? It must be the 3rd Department. Pumadora, Deputy Judge, Office of Court Administration, State of New York, for the courts outside of New York City. Jonathan Littman is the what is he called? Well, he's the administrator of New York State courts. But he specializes, he's got enough to do in New York. You know, it's a funny thing. What city in the United States has 5 counties in it? Can you imagine that? A city that has 5 counties in it? It's New York. It has New York County, which is Manhattan, Kings County, which is Brooklyn, Richmond County, which is Staten, Queens County, which is Queens, and the Bronx County, which is the Bronx. A city has 5 counties in it. And why are the people in New York the dumbest people in the world? They have the densest population. To you, Glendora TV ads, and to Judith K., and I do mean Judith K. I don't mean to pass it on down the line. I mean Judith K., Chief Judge of the State of New York, who took the place of Saul Walkler, who went to federal prison. Center for Judicial Accountability Incorporated, the Natalia defendants, Glendora Internet audience, Glendora TV audience, the Dixons, and who to sue. Now this was 15 sects, 12 pages, 6 sheets. It's opus 1174. Took 6 hours, it says here, $13.06. In coming attractions, Glendora goes through the realtors. You know, realtors is a trademark. R, black rectangle with a red R in it, I think. Realtors code, and shows where Natalia Lydia Preferred et al. Violates it. And Glendora's appellant's brief, Glendora versus Nasty Natalia, Brat Sister Lydia et al. Those are coming attractions. But then, when I looked at this paper again today, here are the addenda. Prima facie, and by the way, that's the way you pronounce that. It's a Latin word, and you pronounce it that way. The Romans pronounce all the syllables. Prima facie, the reason you don't want to hear from Glendora is you did terrible things. Lie, steal, and cheat. And you do not want to be reminded of this. But it is going to boomerang to you with accidents, disease, financial ruin, inter alia. Sin has its consequences. Don't you ever forget that. Sin has its consequences. You do not get away with it. The longer you prolong acknowledgement, repent, restitute, and reform, the harder it will be for you. And this works exponentially. You fail to state a deadline for your warning period, but if you sue, Glendora will demand a jury trial. It will accentuate the evil you have done, America. Now here's my new stamp. A chat with Glendora on 44 TV stations equals 440 municipalities, including Washington, D.C. and Albany, New York, Box 124, Ghent, New York, 914. Oh, they left out the zip code. Or I did. You can see Glendora's TV show on the internet. www.achatwithglendora.com. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Stop cruelty to animals. Stop injustice in the court. And sue judges. Then, I am going through the code of realtors. And I am listing, as they told me to. Wait, one more paragraph. You are trying to serve me something certified. Return receipt requested. That came Friday, and I did not accept it. And you never can learn, Kleinbaum, and most lawyers cannot, that you have to serve in persona. And also, you have to serve by regular mail. Most lawyers get that wrong. So, here's the Columbia Green Board of Realtors, and they told me to say, I feel that Article blank was violated because blank. Okay. So, I add this codicil. This work is in progress, and it will take a long time because there are 8 pages of code of ethical conduct, and Natalia et al. Broke all of them, I think. Glendora is submitting a Rule 60B motion, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, to Norgal, United States District Judge, United States District Court, Chicago, for relief from his order dismissing my complaint. And she is writing her appellant's brief for Glendora versus Nasty Natalia et al., for which Dixon wrote a return to the appeals court, but never put the order in writing. But this is too much Natalia, but it all goes on TV and the internet. Okay, now, this is the attached statement to the Board of Realtors. Glendora feels that the preamble was violated because Natalia, Lydia, and Preferred did not wisely utilize the land. Glendora took possession of July 1st, 2003 to March 28, 2004. They did not clean it up. They did not do proper snow removal. They did not hard top the driveway. They did not cover the mud at either entrance with a concrete or brick or asphalt walk. There were 3 inches of mud all over the land, the driveway, and the approaches to the doors, every time Glendora exited her domicile, it took her a half hour to goosh the wet mud off her boots, wash the boots, and a day to dry them. She had to buy additional footwear to have something dry and ready for the next egress. This was also a rank violation of Glendora's warranty of habitability. The warranty of habitability is a law in the state of New York, and I should think in other states, that you are guaranteed by a landlord, you are guaranteed safety, cleanliness, peace, and quiet to enjoy the premises that you are renting. That's the warranty of habitability. It may not be written in the lease, but that doesn't matter. It's a law in the state of New York, whether it's written in the lease or not. You are guaranteed that. Glendora scraped the dry mud off her Mary Kate Ashley shoes, placed the mud onto 9x12 white paper, put it in a box top, took it to Natalia's office with a second request to remedy, and placed it on Natalia's desk. Natalia knocked the box off of her desk in Glendora's direction and spread the mud all over her carpet. She's a mudslinger. Glendora exited, and as she turned the doorknob, the outside doorknob, she heard Natalia say to Lydia, "Call the police!" Now this was false alarm, and Natalia should be charged with the same. Glendora went to Hudson. Natalia is a mudslinger. Now this complaint constitutes a literal misutilization of the land, wetland, that is, mud. 2. This was not the highest and best use of the land in the interests of the nation and its citizens. That's from the preamble of the code for realtors. Realtors being a national association with the rectangular R and the red R inside the rectangle. Glendora's muddy shoes dirtied up the post office and all the stores where she did errands and the Chatham Methodist Church. Now the preamble mandates adequate housing. For this and other inducements supra violated, quote, adequate housing and preservation of a healthful environment. And this is what the realtors swear to. Herein are 5 violations of the preamble. Natalia Lydia Preferred Country Properties failed the realtor's mandate for, quote, grave social responsibility, unquote, and, quote, patriotic duty, unquote. That's the preamble, page 2. They were not, quote, diligent. They were not, quote, zealous to maintain. Now, next is quoted from the preamble, and next are Lydia's violations of the same. Over here, there's that R I told you about, their trademark. And these things that the realtors are supposed to do and take an oath to do, I assume, these are all violated by Lydia here. The fact that she didn't sit down with Glendora and go over the terms of the lease, that she mentioned only paying for the heat after we'd taken possession of the property, after we'd given her the money afterwards. And that cost $500, that heat. And that she expected us to pay for the water. You don't pay for the water in an apartment. So, you know, what is that? Not sitting down and going over the terms of the lease until afterwards. Glendora feels that Natalia, Lydia, and Preferred Country Properties have committed apostasy. Apostasy. A-P-O-S-T-A-S-Y. Paragraph 6 of the preamble states so-and-so. And so they took the pledge and then abnegated the tenets set below and above, infra and supra, duties to clients and customers. So this is my case against Natalia as far as her holding a realtor's membership. And down here is realtor is defined as. And now page 6, you can see how long this is taking, you know, to write. And this is only as far as I got. It's the first, I think I got the first 2 pages done out of 8. And I think you get the drift. It's just really too much to do. But, how about some jokes? Harry is talking to God. And Harry says, God, how much is $1 million to you? God said, $10. Harry says, God, how long is 1,000,000 years to you? God said, 1 second. Harry said, God, can you loan me $10? And God said, certainly, just a second. I forgot to videotape it for you. I am not a good videographer. 48 videotapes. 48 videotapes were wrapped. And I believe by now they are posted. 48 videotapes to 44 cable TV systems. Some systems got 2. 2 different programs. And what is this that took 8 hours and cost $21 to print and post and made this stalwart little copy machine do all the hard work? It is an incompetent judge. Another bad ratification by Congress. Name of said judge, Charles R. Norgal, Sr. United States District Court, Eastern District of Illinois, that's Chicago. And it's in the 7th Circuit. Glendora plaintiff versus another bad United States judge, Lasnik. Another one, Allman. Another bad clerk, Heinemann, in Brooklyn. Another bad deputy clerk, Vega, in Brooklyn. And a whole bunch of incompetent U.S. Circuit judges, Bodine, Howard, Lynch, DeClarico, Kruger, King, Fulbright, Folsa, Brown, Saltzman, Higginbotham, Davis. They're in the 5th Circuit, New Orleans. Lee and Noblin, Jackson, Mississippi. Walker, McKechnie, Whidbey. In that den of iniquity, the 2nd Circuit, Manhattan. Hager, Fernando, Tolman, San Francisco. Bauer, Covielli, Freeman, Contrarian, Greenwich, Connecticut. CTV, Prince George's County, Maryland. Burns, Jordan, Ginsburg, Santelli, these are all Washington, D.C. The United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. Henderson, Randolph, Rogers, Tattle, Garland, Hogan, Urbina, Sullivan, Robertson. This has to go to you, DCTV. You have to bring this before the public, because this is America. Kohler, Catelli, Kennedy, Edwards, Connell, a hack, New York State Assistant Attorney General. Gerber, Davis, these are all U.S. Bankruptcy Court. Bowling Green, Manhattan. Abrams, Massell, Chapman, Wilkie, et al. Nasty Natalia, et al. The Chatham Village and Police. The Dixons and Kleinbaum, defendants. Can you imagine a United States District Judge writing on the back of a piece of paper this kind of an order? Well, he did. Yes, he wrote this on the back of a piece of paper. I'll just show you the pages. I don't know, maybe. Well, I think his record ought to be put here before these 44 TV stations where a chat with Glendora is cablecast, and before the whole world where a chat with Glendora is webcast. So these are the pages, and now I have to get dressed up, and I have to read them to you.
It's hard to get dressed up, but you have to keep America beautiful. However, in view of the well-settled rule, particularly applicable in pro se civil rights actions, that a complaint should not be dismissed unless it appears beyond doubt that the plaintiff can prove no set of facts in support of her claim upon which relief can be granted. I never got that chance with Norgal. Norgal, you violated everything, America. Think of all the years that you've been a judge, and think of what you just did here to America. What's the title of this paper? It's a motion for relief from order pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 60B. We found another one, folks. It's nothing but. That's all you ever find in the U.S. District Courts. And he writes it on the back of a piece of paper. The type is illegally too small, and it's single spaced. Now thank we all our God, with hearts and minds and voices, who wondrous things have done, in which the world rejoices, who from our mother's arms has led us on our way, with countless gifts of love, and still are ours today. I shouldn't think, Norval Sr., that your mother would be very proud of you for writing such rubbish as this. And the print is illegal. It's so fine. On May 17, 2004, plaintiff Glendora, referred to simply as Glendora, filed a complaint against numerous defendants. It's a great statement. And here's the footnote. They cannot write an integrated paper. You know why? It takes integrity to write an integrated paper. So they go into footnotes. Included in plaintiff's submissions is a copy of a photograph, purportedly of Glendora, holding hands with the late comedian Bob Hope. The caption below the copy of the photograph reads, "Fresh out of college, too fresh, Glendora went to work for NBC Hollywood, and this afforded the opportunity to meet such greats as Bob Hope, Groucho Marx, Jack Benny, Red Skelton, and Dinah Shore. Do any of you remember any of them?" The salary afforded little else. Glendora hosted TV shows for over 14 years. It always amazed me how much the public will stand. All in all, she says, I've been on television 30 years. Well, that was written a long time ago. It's 50 years. And you can verify this by counting the rings under my eyes.
Now this is not written by a United States District Judge. This is written by some brat, fresh out of college, with an acuminate head. Now why? Is there any law broken here? As a preliminary matter, the Seventh Circuit has expressed concern about parties litigating under a pseudonym. This is not a pseudonym. Okay, I can show you my birth certificate. I am Glendora Vesta Folsom. And then they spit out these crazy cites, which are nothing but more bad decisions by more bad judges. And I'm not going to read them to you, these cites. Like Doe versus Blue Cross and Blue Shield United of Wisconsin, 1112 Fed 3rd, 869, Section 72, 7th Circuit, 1997. That's all these dumb kids can do when they get out of law school, is punch up keys on the computer and spit out nonsense like this. Judicial proceedings are supposed to be open in order to enable the proceedings to be monitored by the public. Yeah. So why don't they lead you with your tape recorders? And why don't they lead you with your video recorders? What a bunch of liars. To enable the proceedings to be monitored by the public and the concealment of a party's name impedes public access, oh boy, public access, to the facts of the case. Then why don't you let us have our tape recorders and our audio recorders, which include the party's identity, C. Doe, so-and-so and so-and-so. There are situations where, can you imagine taking all this time talking and being in, and their premise, their basic premise is wrong? This is not a pseudonym. And how many district courts have I been in all over the United States? What would you say? Every state, except maybe 6 or 7 of them. Pseudonyms are appropriate, however. Glendora makes no such showing in this case. Is this dumb or isn't it dumb? Further, based on the pseudonym Glendora, the court is unable to determine whether Glendora is an entity capable of suing or being sued. This court is unable to determine anything. It's so dumb. The court need not linger on this point. The court should never even brought up the point. Glendora says, Glendora is my name. Court errs that Glendora is a pseudonym. Computer spit-outs to support an error is agonizing. Glendora, quote-unquote, is Glendora's name. All you had to do was to punch up Glendora and see she's filed circa 100 cases under her name, which is Glendora. You embarrass the USA. What kid wrote this slop? Glendora is a well-known TV personality. Whatever name she sues under is valid. U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York, Mark Fox, Glendora versus Malone, 1997. Whatever name I sue under is valid. If I want to sue Mickey Mouse versus so-and-so, I can do it. This judge gets over $140,000 a year to sign slop like this. In fact, I don't think he even signed it. Glendora is not holding hands with Bob Hope. She and Bob Hope were shaking hands in greetings. At the moment, the newspaper photographer snapped the picture. If this court can't get closer to the facts than this, there is no hope for it. There is no hope for this court. I hate to say that. You know, being a Christian, how can you say there's no hope for this court? It's so bad that it appears there's no hope for it, but there must be some. Maybe we can change these people with prayer. Purported, quote unquote, is error number 3. It is fact. What is more, pseudonym is this judge being called a judge. That's a pseudonym. Charles N. or R. Norgal, Sr. being called a judge. That's a pseudonym. This judge is not doing his work and not writing a reply himself and having some novice write this slop and then making believe that the judge wrote it. From pseudonym to fraud, this court is upon the public. This is going on the TV show A Chat with Glendora all over the world. And have you done America a favor? Or have you done America harm in the eyes of the whole world? In her preliminary statement, Glendora stated pellucidly she did not want any clerks' ghostwritten papers. I will quote that from my preliminary statement. Glendora has a constitutional right to an Article III judge, United States District Judge. She insists that a United States judge read her complaint, decide her complaint, and sign every paper. This complaint is to be adjudicated, decided, determined, and pronounced judicially, and only judiciously. Glendora will suffer no more of this synthetic, artificial, and addled hoop jumping by kid law clerks with acuminate heads. Glendora is adamant hereon. Did Charles R. Norgal Sr. read Glendora's complaint in its entirety? My guess is that he did not. I'd like to videotape outdoors, but it's pouring rain. We have too much rain, world. We have stolen your rain. This rain